Welcome to Termite Machine Works. My name is Keith. Okay, one little spot right there. We'll just hit with the sander there, and let's go check the fit. Oh, gotta love that. Alright, this plate's probably sprung out just a little bit, just like the other ones there. This is just pretty close in there. Let's check it with the other side. Oh, you know what? No. Alright, it is. Lines up just like that. Yeah, these three lines, it might be that hole might be slightly off. But we had a slight width difference there on our other one. And that distance does look a little different. So, but we're happy that that inside area right there, that's right where we want it. Once we get those knocked down there too, it'll set in there a lot prettier. Alright, let's go cut out the other ones. Let's just see how fast we actually can put this in here and cut this and verify that everything is peachy keen. And 11-100. Eyeball it on over here to 11-400. Up against the edge there. Do our gear. And we're going to set our little scribe line there, little scribe line there, and there. And we just put a little Sharpie right here. We're just going to make one practice dummy pass. And there, and it's hard to see the blue on the black there, but we're just going to go ahead and give that a run. I like that. Now, the kerf, and the height, I think we're all good. I like that. Alright, here we go. Ventilation. Okay. The cuts look pretty close. Alright. I'm going to go slam this on. Got a little grind. Okay, this is the spacer ring, and this is 3/4 of an inch thick, and we're still at 60 amps, still with a 60 amp tip. And we're going to cut our speeds down to 10 inches a minute, and let's give it a shot here. Yeah, I'm getting my gloves for this one. You know, that's pretty damn impressive. I don't know how much it's moved around, but I might have just did that. We might put something behind here just to keep it from going back that way on its own weight, so it doesn't drop down like that. I didn't see it. All right. Slow speed frost usually pops off fairly easy like that. Alright, let's go run this over and see what it looks like. Alright, we went ahead, we put an angle against the back support here, and this is just a piece of 1x2 box tube, and I pushed it in against that sprocket. This is going to be 5 inches a minute, just like on our first the first cut we did on this on the plasma cutter when we cut the split line. It was 5 inches a minute, and I just calculated out that we're going to be 4 minutes and 44 seconds for this cut. That's going to be an awful lot amount of heat, and the thing's going to really want to be moving around. So by putting some inward pressure here against the stops down there, we're going to minimize the amount of moving around. Okay, so now I'm going ahead and we're throwing up here our covers back on here so that we keep the draft secure. It works real good, but we keep it down to a minimum. Boy, I feel like a drum roll right now. There we go. That's a cut. You know, is there any flies on that? There's no flies on that. Okay, here's looking down on, okay. She's warm. I'm not gonna pick that one up real fast. See that? She stayed right in there. She's snug. Just made it was a good thing. Make sure that thing wasn't going to slip out of there. fit up all of our pieces here, and we're happy with everything else. There's plenty of space on this side here for the chain. Now we're going to flip this thing upside down, and we're going to hand cut with the plasma cutter this flange to be the same diameter as that inside spacer, OD. And then the chain will be able to fit over there and have plenty of clearance between the side of the crane, the housing where the drum mounts, and the guard here. And then this will be flush all the way in here, and the cable will be able to be wound in this area right here. Okay, this will be the diameter that we're going to cut that one down there. Alright, after we cut these and we deburn and grinding that, we'll dress these off here, and the final assembly will be done with the hub in the center and everything bolted together, and we're going to wrap the chain around it to prove that everything's 100%. And these all came out nice and flush right here. This one fills up a little bit, but I'm sure that compared to the areas all around here, the mean height is all good. Now we took a 2-inch box tube and we put it underneath here. We thought we'd have to put something underneath here, but that fits right in there. Now this is just a little tiny bit low here, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a receiver that slips down in there with a center punch here, and we're going to be using our hand guide for our plasma torch to cut this circumference here. So we're sliding this piece in here. And those two halves need to be going together like that. That fit up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to drop in a couple holes there, so that this is what really matters. Okay, that's still in the center. I think what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our chain around there, so we're holding it still. And we'll go ahead and we'll measure this, make up that diameter for that guide to go in there, and we're going to put a scribe line out here, and then we're going to trim that. We're going to be trimming about 3/4 of an inch off of that outside diameter there. Alright, if we're going to get the mean. Okay, we know that those are lining up in there. And that OD and OD is lining up pretty good. A little bit inside difference there because of the way that heat was coming around and how I centered up that plasma cut. So anyway, we have an opening here and here that we can start our pierce edge, which will be fine. We like that dimension there. We went ahead and we found a slug that we had plasma cut. We drilled there and hand plasma cut this out a long time ago. It still had the original center hole. I grabbed it there, and there in the 3-jaw, leaving this tail end out. That spins pretty true. And I turned that register to fit right in there. And we're going to use that center punch to cut that circle. Alright, now let's go ahead and put on 4 clamps here. Should have brought my carpets in here. fact, I'm gonna go get my carpets. We went and got our carpets. You know, I do, you know, this is Berber, okay? Berber's real good about not flaming up on you. And I mean, I've got some pretty good sparky holes and stuff like that in there, but it doesn't catch on, doesn't flame up. Alright, now, I mean, it does put a hole in it. So, I wouldn't recommend flicking your ashes on your carpet in your house, but, you know, it works pretty good, but it saved my knees out here. You know, I've had too many surfboards. Okay, now we can go ahead and take a Sharpie. This is general, but you know what, on this metal, sometimes, you know, unless it's aluminum, it's real hard to see that Sharpie. But it gives you a, with your helmet up or your glasses off, good light, you can see that. But it also makes a good background for a scribe line. Now, you can always see a scribe line, and the scribe line doesn't disappear, doesn't go away with heat. In fact, sometimes you actually get to see it a little bit better. But having that little Sharpie behind it, almost like laying down the dicum. You're saying you're laying out a scribe line to plasma cut. Yeah, I am. And I'm going to set up the guide for my torch in the manual, and I'm going to do that now. And we got this all marked. So I'm going to leave the chain fall on. And actually I'm gonna loosen it just a little bit, and I'm gonna drop it down. I know I'm gonna be blowing here, and I don't want to be blowing right on my chain fall there, so I want to, or my come along. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down, and like that. Okay, and I'm gonna put a metal shield in here. I'm not gonna waste my $150 Yale ton and a half come along I got 20 years ago. We got all set up here, and we went ahead and I grabbed, normally I just have these two units sitting out. In fact, I keep them underneath my plasma cutter. Even though it's hooked up and I'm using my PlasmaCAM, I always have the option of grabbing my torch, which I already grabbed it, and I took off the contact that I use in the head that I use on the table, and this is my manual mode setup. Alright, and if I'm going to do lineal lines and stuff like that, I can set this up here and roll along the table. This, you can set your height, cutting height, and all of that. I've had this set probably 5 years, 4 or 5 years, okay? And I know that when I bought it, I screamed bloody murder, you know, when I purchased it. But I know that I probably bought this at the value of about half of what it actually is on the market now. There's a couple other things that this has in it as well. This kit for pivots in the center, and you have a suction cup here and a square that pivots. This would mount in your circle cutter, or come on over here and mount in this one over here. And this is I've got an extended rod in here. Normally you can run a regular point right here, and this point here, and then you can slide, you can work out here, you can slide this inside, have your guide on the outside. There's a lot of combination. This is almost like one of those gasket cutters that the bronze body gasket cutter, real nice unit. Same kind of theory in adjusting it in and out. Alright, let's get back to what we were talking about. Okay, so we got suction. Now this kit here, everybody's going, hey, how can we make one of these? You know what, it'd be a project, not real hard, but in all reality, if you were to make all these parts, all the machine parts and everything else, you probably would have just about the labor and the man hours all in there that it would be to buy a set. Alright, so the value of what you're getting in here is a great value, even though it seems like only a couple parts. I do use these not very often. Most of the time these two tools right here were the way to go. Now this comes with other sleeves and you know, different attachments in here that adapt to different torches. Now I haven't played with a lot of different torches, so I can't tell you what differences or what problems you might come into, but I do know that they give you like 2-3 different sleeves and attachments that you can get down in. My torch actually fits right in there with no attachment or anything, no adapter, no sleeves or anything, so it fits right in there. And I took out the one because these also fit into here, okay, if you had a smaller torch. Alright, but this one here slides right in there. Alright, and we'll set the adjustment. Alright, now that we've kind of gone over the kit, and I know that some of you kind of wonder how I did things before I had the plasma cutter. This is how I did it. And this is the hand cutting guide system from Thermodynamics. And this is the catalog kit number 78910. Guide and accessories for thermodynamics. 1-inch torch. And pH 10, 25, 26, 28, 35, 40, 42, 60, and 62. 75, 76, 80, and 100 XL. 102 and RPT 28. Covers a lot of torches. Alright, we'll put this up out of the way here, and really all I'm going to need is, is that one setup right there. Alright, I hope you can see a little bit better there, alright, because I'm going to be basically setting up crossways here. Alright, now, of course, this point here, won't let that get out there. So, I've got to go ahead and get in here, and you know, you can almost eyeball this down in here first, and actually I'm going to go ahead because I know I can choke that in a little bit. This will give me a little bit of a distance out here, feel more comfortable. This is going to come in. I just want to make sure that I'm rolling not on a wheel, you know, I don't want to hit these holes. Alright, now we gotta, you gotta keep this thing level, so you do want to shorten that down as much as possible. Needs to even come down a little bit farther there. I think I'm going to grab one of those other points there. This is offset so that normally I can get right back underneath there. Actually, I know what I do. We're going to flip this over and we're going to put this on the top, coming down. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and flip this over like this. I like that. You know, even though this is a quality set, still you got you got a whole bunch of different people bending and prying and bending a lot of that stuff up there. But the main thing is you want this horizontal plane, and I can see that that's horizontal there. So I'm going to lock this and this and this. Alright, so I know that they're not going to move. Alright, now I can go ahead and adjust these two in the realm that I have out here. I kind of like that guide foot right there. I'm not wrenching, I'm just being firm, that's all, just firm. You know, you think I'm wrenching on this thing. I've been using this for, like I said, I don't know, 7-8 years. And it still does excellent. I like this little set screw in line here. And that just sets right down in and it's the perfect height. And I just look sight down here. And I can adjust this right out to that line. And I like that. So we go ahead and we just tighten those up. And these are tight. And we're just going to give this an eyeball here. Okay, we like that. Alright. We'll cut that half, and then we'll come in here and we're going to cut this half. When you're holding it there and you've got one plane, meaning from center out here, and all you have to do is worry about your forward momentum, you can control a pretty good arc. Not like the plasma cutter, PlasmaCAM gives me, but a lot better than you would just freehand, you know, sitting there holding the torch like this. Alright, we're gonna get this here. I'm also gonna open up that door wide open. I got my other fan on there, and I think I'm gonna go get another fan just to help get the fumes out of here, because I don't feel like putting this up here, even though it's going to be a couple short cuts. We just don't need to have that. And I'm going to try to get you in a good angle so that you can actually see this, the manual torch working, and how efficient it really is, and how nice the tool actually does work. Alright, we got power, and I like kind of leaning over and getting to see what I'm doing. Alright, so we're gonna cut that half first. So let's put our ground over here. I always practice that too. Don't leave your cord down on the ground. Your BBs that cut and everything else, you get cuts. Okay, I like that, and I'm probably going to have to do away with the chair. Alright, here we go. What's nice about this is you can actually stop, get repositioned. Alright, I'm going to lift up my ground cord a little bit so I can see that reflecting in the background there, and I just don't want it to get wasted. I just don't like it. Lost the ground. and you can see it squeezed in on itself. I mean, you know, that's not bad. That's better than any torch job I've ever been able to do. Like that, little minimum grind. We protected, you know, look at that. We protected our chain ball, our come along. All right, go ahead and we'll get this side over here now. I had to squeeze it on the table to get the camera right where it's at. Shit. All right. Pretty round. Not a bad cut. Alrighty. Home stretch here. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna assemble the parts as they're gonna be mounted on here. And we get a sprocket. Alright, now the other sprocket. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, we're just going to scoot these in a little closer here. Alright, then there's the spacer ring. spacer in. Okay, and a cable guard. Why, but one side does make a difference on the cable. Alright, now we're going to go get the chain. Got a little teeny tiny bicycle chain. Oh, that goes, man, is that sweet? All right, now we're gonna give it to the guys there, and they're gonna get this mounted up on a crane. I'm gonna go down there and I gotta get dimensions on it, because the next thing is coming up above this pulley here on a cross member is a pinion shaft with a throw-out cog that shifts boom raise to power takeoff on that shaft. And we're gonna be combining another flange and another sprocket to be the drive for this. Alright, well, there's a long time coming, and of course it's been thrown around a couple different ways, but you see we're actually using another set of maskings, but it came to our advantage. The cable and lock is on the opposite side. On the original set, we would have had to cut out in the side of here to create access for those the lock and the cable wedge, and it just kind of works out that this set is okay. And we matched that other relief in there, and you can see it's set up for an 1/8 of an inch clearance here, and we're gonna have at least 1/4 to 3/8 clearance against that side wall in there from where this mounts onto the side. We're looking real good, and we'll get some pictures and video footage of it down on the crane. I got to go down there and measure up the upper shaft where there's and I got to make a yoke and a shifter to shift the cog from raise boom into auxiliary, and that's what the pinion, that the shaft that's going to be shifting in and out is going to drive this drum or put it in the freewheel. So you know, it's an old rig. We got it another step closer, and the next time you see this, it will be in the crane. All right, till next time, get her done.